Those flags you wave will represent them. The world is watching. Here's your judgment. Here's your reckoning. Write your story down. It's your history. Pride and country. You could have everything. So bring home the glory alive. Here's your judgment. Here's your reckoning. So go and bring home the glory alive. Here's your judgment. Here's your reckoning. Write your story down. It's your history. Pride and country. You could have everything. So bring home the glory alive.
Hello, hello. Welcome back to the PSU LCS. Once again, I'm Infamous Trash, joined here by none other than the ever lovely Pop Giraffe.
Greetings, everybody. I hope you're having a wonderful evening.
And we're here to bring you more PSU LCS action with Coach Gap versus Woeuq's Weakside.
It should be a exciting one at that. Coach Gap's very own coach, Vale, coming off of a very rough but a very exciting D1 showing today against the University of Toronto. Now coming here to make a stand in the PSU LCS. And looks like coming in right at the bands coming out. We have Seraphine and Katarina already gone, along with the Rumble, and one more on the way. They are not messing around.
Yep, just banning out pretty much what they can see is good bans. I'm actually expecting a Jarvan ban here to keep jungle off comfort for Woeuq's. As any of you who watch the Fall Split know, one of Pit Fighter's best champions actually the Jarvan in the jungle, but instead gonna elect to go for the Udyr ban. Very strong right now, very meta jungle pick.
Yeah, it's a lot better. It's a lot better knowing that you're not going to have some drugged up bear guy with a bear skin trying to chase you around the entirety of the jungle. So a little bit of good, a little bit of leeway for Coach Cap there, and we see the Yone ban coming out here. It looks like that is directed at Woeuq himself.
Yep, can be a very annoying champion, has a lot of skilling potential, of course. Fairly solid. We've seen Perks play it to both ends of the spectrum in the initial LCS tournament. Woeuq's looking possibly at a Kai'Sa pickup here, B1. Would make a lot of sense. Instead, we're going to go toward the Karthus, which can be bot side, actually, for Woeuq's. That is a strat they run, some bot side Karthus.
Ooh, but leaving up that Kai'Sa is probably going to get snagged up right now, and there it is by Coach Gap. Gated does love him some Kai'Sa.
And Hector.
Very. Oh,
yep, this
man,
is what happens when you have the D1 coach as well as the D1 mid laners. You get some very solid meta drafting coming out as just taking advantage of what they can.
Oh, you know, Hecarim has been very strong, you know, with the He's very strong. 2v2 potential. He's got great dive. He's got a lot of damage, especially with Night Harvester coming at even Divine Sunderer if that is in the cards for Coach Gap. But great meta picks, and Kaisa probably one of the most OP actual ADCs here. We have the Olaf coming out here on the side of Woeuq's Weakside. Now that's a little surprising, given his recent a little toll on the healing, but still very good, very aggressive jungler. We could see that being to supplement some of the skirmishes we could see here in the side lanes here. And we have a Thresh. Very, very nice.
Given that it's the expectation that this is a card that's bought, Thresh, of course, same kind of logic you take with an Aphelios Thresh pairing, where mostly a mobile, squishy AD carry, you take Thresh for the Lantern capability to get your ADC, or in this case probably APC, out of there. Instead, we have the Aurelia locked in third for Coach Gap. Definitely a bit odd to blind if it's really considering I'm not sure if it's a contested pick or not. But has some flexibility between the mid and top lane. First ban away.
I know that Aurelia is going right top. As soon as I saw that Fiora ban on the side of Woeuq's, 4022 had his backup Supreme Champion Aurelia cocked and locked and ready to pick for that. That's definitely going in the top lane without a doubt.
Alright, so Aurelia top for you. Not sure what Coach Gap will continue pinching the top lane pool. Shen, fair ban, gonna keep away some of that global pressure that Woeuq can levy. Post 6, of course, can help out their bot lane with dives, keep his Olaf alive on his running at the ADC potential. And now Woeuq's going to take away the set comfort for their mid laner Veil, though not really necessarily what I consider a good ban here, as you already have that AD jungle top. So looking at an AP mid laner here for Veil. It might be safe for counter pick, as this should be the support lock-in for Coach Gap, as we are at the R4, and Leona. Solid synergizes incredibly well with Kai'Sa's passive. You get easy but stacks, lots of engage potential, as well as some heal with the Q. So not necessarily like it integrated into Olaf, but it's certainly into a card. This is a definite solid pickup.
Yeah, especially later on too, not to mention when we move through the laning phase into the mid phase, when we start seeing a lot more of those 3v3s or team fights. Leona's great CC, in addition to Hecarim for the dive, and Leona did great CC on those carries. We see a Renekton hover here. Ooh, and that is officially, we have a Renekton on the side of Woeuq's Weakside.
Yep. Classic card counter pick into Irelia. Has a good laning phase. Can be outplayed, but for the most part shuts Irelia down pretty hard in lane, so definitely goes for the counter pick there. But again, one of those gore drinker champions that has kind of gotten the axe with a lot of the Omni-Vamp nerfs here. Yasuo, they can go with an AD mid considering they have the Karthus bottom lane, but that is a very aggressive blind pick out of Woeuq.
Yes, a very aggressive, especially considering this is most likely going to be the Yasuo mid lane. A little cheeky going into a blind, especially now considering that Veil has full counter pick and potential here. So we're expecting that AP mid lane, probably some kind of control mage, probably some kind of
oh my! It's Aurelia mid.
Ooh, I like me some Quinn here. Quinn I feel like gets slept on, especially when you start drifting away from Challenger and Grandmaster and stuff like that. I feel like Quinn doesn't get enough love.
Quinn is Nico.
You know what? I changed my mind. Coach Gap deserved to lose. Coach Gap deserved to lose, pulling my heartstrings like that. I was about to give them so much credit. Oh, so what if they're all AD? Quinn's amazing. Come on. All right, well, Nico, it's expected, like we expected. That's that AP mid laner. Lots and more CC coming in with her as well, and definitely going to be able to harass the Yasuo. So it should be a very decent showing in the mid lane here. Now, overall, I think Coach Gap is a very balanced team comp. I like the Aurelia having that lane potential. They have great 2v2 with the Hecarim in the top lane and the mid lane with the Nico. They have very good. Kaisa Leon is a strong pairing, so I think all around they have a very balanced and moderate comp on time to Coach Gap.
No, I love Coach Gap, what they've drafted up here for us today. Super solid composition, lots of team fight potential between Leona, Nico, and and Irelia. You have 3 different types of AoE engage with the Solar Blade, the Vanguard, as well as the Pop Blossom. Hecarim as well, very good to just get on the back line and start doing some damage, try to get that Yasuo, get that Karthus into his team and really take them out early. And then Kai'Sa, you have the follow-up assassination potential with the Void Seeker, as well as pretty much every single every single member of Coach Cap being able to apply passive stats to kick off these fights. Nico currently on the patch, a little bit slept on in my own opinion, can be a very versatile mid laner. Deals out a lot of damage, a few different builds you can go. You can go with Everfrost, you can go with Rocket Belt, depending on the situation. It's not necessarily one of the greatest picks into Yasuo historically, but can certainly do some damage in the teamfight stage. It is fantastic at River 2v2s, post 6, once you have the access to that giant AoE ult. On the side of Woeuq, also sporting, in my opinion, what is a fair teamfight composition. I don't think it's the most well-rounded teamfight comp. You have your Karthus as your own source of AP. The thought is that you have to heal for him throughout the fight, but the more likely scenario is he gets taken out immediately, has to do damage post-mortem, which of course for that champion is not that big of an issue. However, triple AD topsides get incentivized a lot of early armor purchases for the Irelia. For the Nico, would not be surprised to see some tabbies and maybe and definitely a secret arm guard early on to really help these laners stay safe and alive in the early skirmishes. But beyond that, Woeuq, they have good scaling in the Karthus and the Yasuo, but the Rex and Olaf are going to fall off really hard in the mid game, and comparing that to their counterparts on the other side, I'm not really sure how they stack it, because yeah, Nico falls off as well. However, she's still going to have utility in teamfights, whereas Olaf and Rex continue to lose such things as the game progresses.
I think they can make up for that, though, considering if Olaf's able to provide, and actually, if Olaf's able to instigate some early 2v2s up in the top lane, or 2v1s up in the top lane with him, and actually put this Irelia behind and able to get Renekton a little bit of gold early on, I think they can counteract the kind of the burning bridge of going into the mid game by trying to excuse me.
English is hard.
Yeah, English is kind of hard. If they make the most out of the early game, and if Pit Fighter is able to make the most out of the early game and get some gold on Renekton, they might be able to counterback a little bit of the transition pains that they're going to most likely be having once they start getting into the greater 2v2s or the greater 3v3s and so on. So I think if Pit Fighter, I think this is going to be a big macro game, especially if Pit Fighter can put the pressure on Catalyst, we can get some invades off the Olaf, we can get some early Olaf invades, a lot of early pressure, and maybe force some 2v1 fights over in the mid lane and top. I think we might actually see some of the early or the mid game potential not be as rough because they'll get that early kill gold. So I'm expecting a lot of macro play here out of Woeuq to kind of help them out and set them up for success in the mid game later on.
Definitely going to need to start doing that. I think for a lot of what Coach Cap's going to want to do this game, I think bot lane is a fantastic group. Irelia, just given the matchup, pretty difficult matchup into Renekton in the 1v1. Now that can be, of course, outplayed by 4022 over... Oh boy, I hate names. Ilventodoro. Ilventodoro. There's a reason I took German and not any of the Latin-based languages.
Coward.
But I'm pretty sure that matchup is just going to be hard regardless for the Irelia to play out. Just looking at the champion matchups, as well as with Olaf up there, becomes a very difficult 2v2 to manage, whereas bot lane, you have a ton of CC available for Hecarim to gank on. Great follow-up damage from the Kai'Sa, especially post-6, which is going to Killer Instincts. And of course, Nico, Vale, able to come down post-6 with a teleport play or just roaming down with Catalyst on the Hecarim, and initiate some pretty easy dives on the Karthus Thresh. They have a lot of potential down there to really start burning out some leads. And I think if you can get this Karthus behind to the point where his Requiem doesn't find much use, you're going to be very, very well set to go into the mid to late game and just smash out through there.
Yeah, I think Coach Cap is really going to really want to play through their bot lane, especially because in the mid lane, Nico to me has way more roam potential than Yasuo does, especially even though she might struggle dueling in the laning phase. Nico, as soon as she hits 6, 7, 8, and is able to roam to the other side lanes, with how strong of an engage that they have bot lane, and how great of synergy that they have, I expect a lot of roams from Vale coming down to the bot lane to try and get a lot of gold onto gated early, especially because Karthus, really until he gets some decent amount of AP, is really at the mercy of how well Thresh can protect him with his flays and not accidentally pulling gated a little too early when they're not the best equipped to do it. So I would think that Coach Gap might want to play through the bot lane a little bit more. Catalyst, you know, I think they could help through the mid lane a little bit as well, but I expect him hovering topside just to kind of keep Aurelia on the right path in order to really get the best out of her power spike when she hits the mid game.
Yep.
And here we
in.
go.
Yep. Loading our way across here for the first game of Woeuq's Weakside versus Coach Gap. It's
very beautiful skins here. Although I have to admit, I'm a little disappointed of not seeing a Butcher Olaf. You know, that would have put my spirit a little bit higher. You know, you gotta have, when you have the Arby's man himself on your side, you really should be fearless in the early game. Where are the meats? Olaf has all of the meats. But, you know, sadly, we have Naked Olaf and Naked Renekton, which is fine. You know, a little bit less flashy, but we go. It looks like I don't expect to see any early engages. Looks like we're going to have a standard 5-stack of just staring them down like an old Western. They're all just going to be staring each other down, probably get one ward, get scared, and then run away. So we have a pretty passive early seconds of the game here.
Yep, pretty much. Expect to see here, looking at Hecarim possibly starting the top side, so pathing down bot early, but instead of recall, so you have to see where Catalyst decides to go afterwards. I wouldn't mind seeing the Hecarim start top and try to get an early gank up on this Karthus Thresh lane while it's still very weak in the early game.
Yeah.
To be honest, it's not Ivan 4022.
Are you
doxing
doxing our players?
I have committed a cardinal sin. Either way, the only real time that Aurelia has to win that 1v1 versus Renekton is that level 1. Can get the stacks on her passive very quickly, the Ionian Fervor, and be able to trade into Renekton when he is weak, but after that it becomes much, much more difficult for Aurelia to manage. Hecarim, though, going to be starting on the bot side here. Catalyst is electing to go with what I'm guessing is a 5 camp clear into either gank or scuttle. Looks to be similar to what Olaf is planning. So he's going to skip Krug and go right to the Raptors.
Yeah, I think it's, for me, it almost looks like if Catalyst can come up top lane and try and relieve some of that early pressure off of Aurelia, I think that'll probably pan out pretty well, especially if he's starting this bot side. Although you really don't see too much variety anymore in terms of jungle clearing, because you just full clear or mostly full clear, just try and get as much of that.
Oh, 4022 going for an early trade here onto Even, as grabs some stacks, finds the flawless duet, and is able to grab a good half-health trade actually onto the Renekton, forced back early on. This is a Doran's Blade Irelia, not seeing what would be the more standard Corrupting Pot to start. Going a little bit more aggressive, I guess you could say.
Yeah, probably so he's able to make those great trades right there, and even if, oh, there we go, a little bit more. He's not really in a position to really be beaten down. He's with that Doran's Blade, you know, he's here to make a stance, and that he's not going to be bullied around by the big mean lizard.
And as Vale so often comments on, taking the cheater recall at level 3, grabbing himself the Dark Seal off the first back. Doesn't give you any more health potions anymore. Zentai going in bot lane onto Eternal Flame. Not too much to come out of it. Just get some chip damage onto the Thresh, has to blow a pot. Or a biscuit, I should say. And this week continue to be an advantageous bot lane scenario here for Coach Gap. Again, another trade. A good play back, but needed to trade back very heavily. Exhaust comes out as slow. Eternal Flames to one auto attack off. Drags the Kaisa back into auto attack range, and that is first blood in the bot lane 2v2 over to Coach Gap.
See, that's the only bad thing that I don't like about the Karthus in the bot lane, is because, especially when you pair it with Thresh, it kind of completely negates the entire reason why the Thresh pull is really that good, because I mean, early on, Karthus really doesn't have much to work with. He doesn't have any Dark Harvest axe. He really doesn't have any much AP, and he surely doesn't have that much mana to work with either. So you're really working with bare bones and trying to just farm and maybe set up a couple of things for your jungler if he happens to come by. But until you start hitting those item spikes, you're really kind of just there for the minions.
Manages the W.
Ooh, hits the field goal.
Yep, does grab it. Eternal Flame grabs Veil. Past the clone even. Very impressive there on the hook. Good roam up. Gonna get some chip damage, but still lose out in the trade as Woeuq takes a Q to the face. Come possible for a return gank here as Catalyst is in the area. Woeuq has to flash away.
Nice
from
flash. That's something I like to see. I like Eternal Flames taking the roam up to the mid lane to try and relieve some pressure off Woeuq, especially Woeuq doing some great trading with Veil, forcing Veil to, you know, play a little bit more passively. But there, Catalyst coming in, putting the heat on Woeuq there and forcing him to flash. But, you know, it's good trades back and forth here. It's very good too, especially because they're not really going to get too much out of the bot lane. I like Eternal Flames making those roams and helping out the other lanes.
Yep, absolutely. And now enter state. No one really looking to get this early dragon off the get-go. Crab for crab in the jungle matchup. Hecarim though gonna be ahead about, I don't know, 2 camps worth of XP here and farm. It's ticked over to level 5 already, so it's a bit ahead on the Olaf in terms of tempo. Just needs to take him. Already has the back for the Sheen done as Ivan Todoro gonna take another fall to the face, but gets the stun off. Catalyst though in the area. 422, gotta be careful.
Ooh,
Ivan Todoro flashing underneath, countered with the
Oh.
blade surge.
So close, 1 Q off from making that a 1-for-1.
Yeah, went for the 1-for-1, sadly does not grab it, and it will be 4022 who benefits off of that, grabbing the kill. Now
like
that's
he's getting a
high,
little-
possibly into trouble here as Pit Fighter in the area. As you have to try to stay very healthy, the hook's gonna land onto Gated, already exhausted, has to burn the flash away. Good stun on a Pit Fighter to prevent him doing any extra damage. That time,
Ooh, great
surely
play.
going to fall. Well played by the side of Woeuq.
Fantastic gank there by Pit Fighter. And great hooks too off of Eternal, hooking Gated, bringing him right back there, not allowing him to escape. It was good, great kills too. That's what I like to see. I like to see Pit Fighter and Olaf making those plays down bot lane, trying to relieve some of that early gold, and especially helps too if Olaf gets fed. What's not to like about a fed Olaf? He runs fast. He has a lot of healing, and he hits you with an axe over and over again. So you know, this is very good. I'm liking what I'm seeing here. Although Coach Gap has a little bit of a gold lead, I still
About 2,000 at the
Woeuq's holding
moment.
their own. They're holding their own. They're showing that they're here to play. And I like what I see.
Doing it top lane. Ivan Todoro in some trouble at the Vanguard's edge. Lands, has the stun on the Empowered. It's going to last quite a while. Grabs some healing off the main, but 4022 able to connect. Not miss a beat there. Side the stun. And that's a solo kill in the top lane this time for the Irelia. The matchup kind of getting a little bit out of control. And now the dive flashing on a Pit Fighter. Still doesn't have the ulti. Pop Blossom triggered. Pit Fighter forced to flash away. The exhaust already from Zetai, and that's going to be the end of that pursuit. Should allow Coach Gap, though, to start this dragon if they want it. The Olaf chunked out pretty hard. No flash to contest. Still not level 6.
Woeuq also not having any vision near the drive pit, as well as not having too much prio here. So I feel like this is going to be a free dragon on the side of Coach Gap. Yeah, and here they go. Although, Eternal Flame in the area, but I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do anything about it.
Yep, just gonna walk back bot lane. Gated W's for show, I guess. Doesn't even hit the dragon. Just wants to burn. Just has mana to burn, you know.
Yeah. You know, you gotta get those tier stacks when you're definitely building Mana Mute on Kaisa in 2021. You know.
Yep. Now top
Really?
lane. Pit Fighter looking is warded out by 4022. So will not be baited into taking any disadvantageous trades against Ilventoro. W though, but did not grab the
Trade
stun.
done
Falcon
here.
does land. His Pit Fighter is still in the area. Cancels the recall last second. Might try to look for the dive, though it is pretty risky with Veil already roaming up the mid lane. And And they're going to try to back off instead. Bot lane, hook lands onto ABBA. The Thresh is there, has the Lantern for him to escape off of the flash burn regardless. And that's what happens when you play Karthus bot. You're squishy, very immobile mage versus an actually very meta ADC.
And a support who
and
is not
support, yeah.
Yeah, an engaged support who's doing her job very well. I mean, I'd like to see Eternal roam a little bit more, especially because since we're seeing here that bot lane really isn't producing too much. I mean, they can hold their own once they have Pit Fighter too, because they're doing pretty nicely into that 3v2. But I'm on the 2v2 in bot lane.
Going for the trade, finds his Vanguard's edge. Very low, but the Blade Surge will claim it in 40-22 with another solo kill in the top lane.
Yeah, that's what happens. You get all those Q stacks and a Vampiric to back you up. You can't really do too much about it. Even as Renekton, even having a little bit of armor, it doesn't really matter once you have such a little bit of a gold lead there. Now 40-22 just looking to take some plates here and some minion waves, making the best out of their lane superiority that is developing here.
Could deny quite a bit here from the Renekton as another full wave going to crash into that top lane tier 1. And looks like Coach Gap going to take a break from hard farming here on the Renekton to grab this Rift Herald. Try to continue to accelerate this game in their favor.
And it looks like Woeuq doesn't have any vision either of the Herald Pit, and that's going to go right down to on a Catalyst.
Yep.
So they have Herald now, a lot more lane pressure going on here. Or a lot more global pressure, excuse me. They could probably drop that. Most likely, they're probably going to drop that top lane, especially since 40-22's already pushing back into Il Ventadoro. Probably drop that top lane, get themselves the first tower, and then set themselves up for the next dragon. Here's the hook here.
Yeah, caught out in the middle of 3 members. Olaf unstoppable. Zeti going down. Nico, though, finds the pop blossom on it, too, but Olaf unstoppable means that Vale might be going down. A good flash of the wall of the... Ooh, Tornado connects and elects not to take it.
Great hooks here coming out from Eternal Flames. I'm liking what I'm seeing here. I mean, they're putting up a good fight. I'm liking especially even the gold going on Pit Fighter. I mean, it's as good of a person as any. He's doing great, coming in, trying to get those skirmishes going, and he's providing great pressure. Oh, Woeuq's getting a little bit spicy here, running right into Vale. Vale forces the clone.
Not a very good blooming burst there from Vale to try to trade back onto it, but Eternal Flame back in the mid lane. Meanwhile, bot lane, ABBA is done and dusted. Exhaust down just for a good major. Not even really needed at this point. Well played by Zeti with the Solar Flare. And
you can't
kill there for Gated.
You can't be instigating fights against. You can't be bullying the person, especially the two people, when you have not an item to show around. I mean, a little bit of an overextension there by ABBA. I mean, he can't really do too much, and I don't trying to get that farm and just trying to stay alive. I mean, he can't really do too much, especially into Gated almost having so much gold on top of him. So a little bit rough there. Just a little bit more passively and a little bit more passive, a little bit more safe. And I think maybe we'll see ABBA transition a little bit more smoothly. We have a completed Bork here in the top lane, as well as Divine Sunderer on Catalyst. But it looks like top lane, it looks like Catalyst is coming up here. Oh, the TP!
They're going to commit to it. That's Vale coming in. Looking for some kind of CC. I think he's waiting for someone else to tank. Riptail has the aggro right now. Turret goes down, and now the fight will commence. Swimming Blossom on to the Renekton. Catalyst able to grab the kill, and the top lane is gone. Isildur going tabbies and then anti-healing. Not necessarily the build I would recommend into the early. I'd definitely be going a little bit more of the Thornmail angle for that one, but...
Yeah, but hopefully it looks like Woeuq is going to make up for it by taking this Infernal Drake here.
Yep, they're going to go for the trade. Gated, able to dodge away from the Death Sense for now, but the Wall of Pain going to cause some damage. As Solar Flare going very wide as Zeti finds the root on a Pit Fighter, going to go unstoppable. Flashes over the wall to safety, so they get some summoners for a few ultimate abilities, as well as 40-22's TP.
Yeah, it's good on Woeuq not to overextend, not to stay in the drag play. What a hook here!
Ooh, yep, that's another 40-22. Finds the flawless duet on it too, and now we'll go through with the blade surge. Exhaust down at that time, but Vanguard's edge blows both of them up. Zetai gonna be traded back with the Requiem, but nonetheless, meanwhile, Gated fighting Woeuq in the mid lane. Yasuo very healthy. Imagine Vale gonna come up out the Blooming Blossom, get his spot in time, and Pop Blossom doesn't connect. Slash away from Woeuq, and now trying to fight Vale and Gated. Gated goes down, Vale still kicking. Woeuq trying to heal through it, grabs some healing off the Vampiric, and does get out in the 2v1. Woeuq showing up as Catalyst looking for the kill. Woeuq trying to dash through some minions, trying to get away, dash back through the curse. Catalyst has to deal with Pitfighter. Now the ult up Necrom, duking it out. The W not enough healing to go through. Pitfighter grabs it with the axe, and Vale goes down.
Man, good on Woeuq for making the best out of that 2v2 and punishing Gated for his overextension there in the mid lane, but then just the fantastic dashes to avoid Catalyst and allowing Pitfighter to come in and to clean up Vale there in the mid lane. What an awesome play going on here, God. I mean, they're going good. I mean, they're maybe down that 5k gold, but all that gold's on Aurelia.
They're only down 5k gold,
but all that gold's on Aurelia. I mean, without Aurelia, it seems like it's a pretty fair fight to me.
Aurelia has 3,000 gold of the 5k gold lead. You got Hecarim with 500, and then the bot lane's another 1,000. That's where your gold lead is.
That's where the gold lead is, and you know it. Without 40-22 there, Vale and Gated seem just to be at the mercy of the fancy footwork of Woeuq and the superior axe thrower of Pitfighter. You know, I'm liking how we're doing it here because it really, I mean, like, besides Oventatoro losing early on in the mid lane, early on in the top lane, we're not really seeing too much else. I mean, mid lane turned out to be pretty well in the favor of Woeuq's. Pitfighter's doing very well to be there for all of his solo laners. Even though Abba got caught out, I mean, he's still getting his farm. He's still getting up. He has Leandries. I mean, they're transitioning into the mid game here at 16 minutes. They're transitioning very well, much better than we expected here. So, and even though, again, they do have a 5k gold lead, over half of which is on 40-22, which could provide a lot of top lane split pushing potential. In terms of team fight, I think we actually have a good shot here, or Woeuq, excuse me, have a good shot here.
Wait, are you claiming sides now, or are we talking?
Whoa, no.
Pitfighter maybe says, no, I'm not sure why you're solar flaring the unstoppable targets that time, but 40-22 doesn't care if his CC works or not, because he's got the damage to go through. 6-0 on the Aurelia.
Yeah, I'm not sure where the solar flare was going there, but good on Pitfighter, I guess, for being able to get both the Aurelia and the Leona ultimate. It looks like Coach Gap is going to translate that into the second Herald of the game.
Yep, not sure why they said in 5 to do it, honestly. Just go back to your lanes and farm. Hecarim can solo it just fine enough. Get some more resources. Second Herald, not that hard for a jungler to do, but nitpicking. 40-22, just going to clear out this wave, probably take a recall or possibly go to contested Yasuo. A lot of pings on the neck and bot lane by the side of Woeuq's Weakside.
And it looks like Coach Gap here is going to... It looks as if they are going to
probably reset here for Ocean Drake.
Yeah. Yeah, as Drake is coming up here in 50 short seconds. Now, ooh, Vale getting a little spicy with Pitfighter there. Just trying to protect his ward, but it's to no avail. I mean, for Woeuq, I expect them to at least try and contest these dragons, because if they're able to isolate off 40-22 and they're able to
somehow kill
quickly, yeah, well, kill him, you know,
somehow
incapacitate, you know, whatever works.
Oh,
take him out of the equation.
Zetai has a wall of payment, so he's going to take a little bit of damage from the Q. Meanwhile, there's more vision being cleared here by Coach Gap, as Abba tagged up by the flawless duet. Dragon started up by Catalyst. Gonna be the full 5v5, first one here of the game thus far. Coach Gap has to be taking some mean damage. Wall ping coming out, gonna try to zone up the
the hook on Vale.
Hook on Vale finds his way down. Pop Blossom, no good, deal a lot of damage. 4 men under that. The Vanguard's edge as well, and it's just a wipe here. Yasuo the only one left there, but the Requiem does a lot of damage. Finds the ulti on to Gated. Gated grabs the shield with the ultimate. Ends up being a 1 for 5 in favor of Coach Cap. Low health bars all around, but the job gets done. The Dragon secured. And that's going to extend the gold lead to 7,000 gold.
Herald being dropped here in the mid lane. It looks like they're going to take both the first and second tier towers without Woeuq being able to really do anything about it. And I mean, look, there's not a lot that they could have did there. It looks like, I mean, 40-22, he has the Triforce, he has the Bork. It's just so much damage, and he was just able to dodge. And good on Woeuq for almost very close to trying to get gated as well as Veil. But you know, there's a lot of damage coming out of here, out of this Aurelia in this game. It looks like they're just going to have to try and regroup and try and get some picks off here. Because they're definitely able to do that. Between the Olaf, between the Thresh, they're definitely able to isolate Veil and Gated if they somehow find themselves overextended. So I feel like Woeuq's just got to keep looking for those picks, because that's what they're best equipped to do for the meantime. On the other side, though, Coach Gap, they're doing really good. They got top lane completely empty, mid lane almost done with that second tier 2. They got great lane pressure here, and they have pretty good objective control. The Ocean Soul as well, if they're able to get it. Ocean Soul, you know, one of the best souls ever. Great sustain. They're primed and ready. I mean, especially if they get it, it's not looking great. So it's not going to look good for Woeuq.
Yep. Gold lead is pretty damning. We have seen Woeuq play very well individually in terms of mechanics so far, especially in the mid lane there with Woeuq himself. However, the gold lead is going to start coming into effect here. Yes, a lot of that's on Aurelia, but Aurelia is pretty much nigh unkillable. At the moment, there's not enough CC available with Renekton and Yasuo as your mid and top. You pretty much only actually have CC on Eternal Flame that's really that effective. Yeah, you have out Ilventodoro's W, but that's with how squishy he is right now, with how behind he is, it's not really going to be that much effect. Other than that, Woeuq is very conditional, again, skill shot based, so not necessarily guaranteed. It becomes a little bit harder to execute the Irelia, who can probably just face tank and heal through your entire combo, especially considering I'm pretty sure 40-22 going for the Sterix next buy.
Yes, sir. I mean, we also, and for Woeuq, the only anti-healing they have is that Executioner's up on Aventadoro. So they're gonna have to try and find some anti-healing here. We do see Abba with the Oblivion Orb, most likely gonna be taking that into the Morella Nomicon to try and chip through some.
Fair. 21 minute fair. Very early, definitely can do it with their gold lead. And with this, this will pretty much boost the gold lead to 10k and make this game fairly on the unattainable side.
Yeah. There's not a lot that, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Renekton's freeze bot lane, not going to mean much with Baron minions coming down his lane, but we shall see what they decide to go about. Of course, every single member of Coach Gap going to have his Baron buff. Like to see Ivan go to 40-22, go into the top lane, start pushing down that lane, get some serious side lane pressure going on the Aurelia. Could see some grouping up mid, maybe do a 1-4 or a 1-3. Or like a 2-3 with the Hecarim kind of shadowing the Irelia. But we'll have to see how Coach Cap really wants to play this. Mid lane tier 2, not that much health on, going to be taken out very quickly here.
Yeah, it's looking
pit fight, or maybe it's trouble getting like not to dive too close to the Axeborn Marauder.
Yeah, looking a little grim here for Woeuq. Coach Gap assembling here in the mid lane. Trying to see if they can get this siege going with their Baron buffs. Well, Leona seems to be a little bit split here between the rest of the group.
They're going to go for it onto Eternal Flame. Soulfire come down again onto the unstoppable target. Eternal Flame trying to flash away, gets caught out, feared away back into the hands of the enemy. 40-22 coming in. Grabs under gated, ults for style points.
Yeah, great TP there by 40-22, coming right from him split pushing the top lane, coming right in there and just securing the kill onto the Eternal Flame. Pit Fighter, not much he can do there. I mean, they don't have a lot of armor pen, they don't have any anti-heal really. except again the singular executioners. So yeah, not a lot they can do here. And it looks like this is going to be third dragon of the side of Coach Gap. It's that gold. We are currently at 11k gold after that dragon.
Not the largest of leads we've seen here so far on PSU LCS in the first week, but still pretty sizable nonetheless. 40-22 just making Elventadoro's life continually less desirable, as just gonna sit back, let the Baron minions do their job. He already has a 60 CS lead regardless, so not too super worried about the next getting a bit of extra minions. Lots
Yeah,
of
the
it, though,
Aurelia here.
onto 40-22, possibly looking for Eternal Flames and Woeuq to try to get them done, but decide to back off. Probably realizing that 2 men is not enough for this raid.
Yeah, I mean, 40-22, I mean, realistically, doesn't even have to group because he's proven that he can fight the 1v2s and the 1v3s. Again, nigh unkillable, so it looks like here we're going to see the 5v4 here in the mid lane, potentially up, but he really could just sit there and split push all day as long as he has Baron buff, and just keep splitting up Woeuq's and enabling Coach Gap to kind of just really attack on all sides here. I mean, there's really not much they can do.
Good on Coach Gap here, just taking the game slowly. They're going to pillage the village every single time they push these waves in. Notice they're taking the entire jungle from the side of Woeuq's weak side away. No camps remaining. There's not going to be any gold put back into this team from their own jungle. They can only catch the waves they're getting. And with that, the continued pressuring of the base. Pitfighter going to walk into 3 members here. Does have his team with him, so fairly confident to walk up here by himself. Has the Ragnarok available. Shower him with some Macappian Rain. Is gated and 422, or not gated, sorry. Veil and 4022 still pushing in the mid and top lane respectively.
Yeah, someone. Oh, it's getting a little spicy here, but 40-22 hits the field goals.
Yep, grabs it, and the Vanguard's edge. Elventadoro healing quite a bit off the Gore Drinker and the empowered Q. 4022 actually almost going down to the turret in that exchange, but nonetheless, successfully gets the Reckon off the map. Grabs some space for Veil to get this mid lane inhibitor fairly chucked down as the rest of their team looks to counteract. 4022 in the top lane getting that turret. Everfrost going to go wide, just going to slow down Woeuq for the time being, but now they are grouped with the raid boss and can continue to push the top lane as bot lane also going in. Gated goes in with a killer instinct, and Abba is gone. Has not been a good game for the Karthus bot lane as Ekram found on the end of a death sentence. Falls to it, also not going to land from 4022, but a death sentence will again onto a Catalyst. Has nothing to get away. Pop Blossom though, going to find all 4, maybe, as the Root comes through with the Everfrost. Now the exchange back onto 4022, finds the Lost, but shut that onto Catalyst with the last breath, but 4022 is still alive and well. Meanwhile, Veil going into the Hourglass, can dodge away from that tornado, and now Pitfighter gonna fall to 4022 as well. This man is pretty much unkillable at this point. Not what I would call the cleanest game they could have played, but Coach Gap gonna end it pretty early on. 27 minutes, near an absurdly large gold, 55,000 to 39,000 gold. We're gonna look to kill Abba one more time with the Vanguard's edge to make it for good measure, and Coach Gap will take game 1 handedly.
Yeah, that's what happens once you cross that 10k gold lead threshold. At that point, you have the Baron, you have almost all the drags, and I mean, especially when you decided to, draft the raid boss onto your team, there's not a whole lot with the gold that Woeuq's had at their disposal. Not a lot they could do there. So,
yep.
Game 1 in the books.
In the books, yeah. I mean, Woeuq played well for the most part. Had some pretty good individual performances, I'd say, in certain areas. You always look at Woeuq, had some pretty good outplay on Yasuo. Still good stuff to be seen. It's not all for a loss. Definitely looks stronger than I'd say I was expecting this game. If you look at the on-paper matchup, definitely at first glance, it looks like one of those ones where you're looking at the possible record-breaking timed games, but in this case, not going to be so easy for the side of Coach Gap. And Woeuq
Say
Weakside possibly definitely has a shot at trying again in game 2. They had some good plays. They can put it together, stop some hemorrhaging of the gold on the top side of the map. Will be looking very good in game 2 to try to actually contest Coach Gap for objectives, contest the map rotations, and start getting leads of their own.
I mean, you're definitely right. I mean, it definitely was not all bad. That we saw a lot of great 2v1s and 2v2s out of the side of Woeuq. Pit Fighter and Woeuq coming. We were able to efficiently duel the Catalyst Hecarim and the Veil Nico. There's a lot of great dual and small skirmishes that they were able to successfully come out on top. It's just that the gold lead, the bleeding, was just too. It got to the point where it was just too much to handle up in the top side. So, because of how successful he was on the mid and the bot side, I think all Pit Fighter really has to do is just focus his attention a little bit more to the top side every once in a while, try and alleviate some of that pressure early on. And then I don't think it will be as. It will somewhat alleviate that immense gold pressure later on in the game, because his support was well received, especially in the mid lane, and especially with Eternal Flames down the bot lane those few times that they were able to turn it around on Zeta and Gated. So I mean, I think all they really got to do is just kind of give a little bit more love to the top lane and just give Il Ventadoro a little bit more room to work, and then I think they'll be in a much better position.
Yeah, can't agree. I mean, draft was still solid. I don't particularly like the card at the spot just because it doesn't let you really contest for lane that much. But I'm definitely showing some proficiency on it despite being caught out in a lot of 1v2 situations. I would rather see him playing more of that just classical style ADC. Let's carry my team through, and if I want to play mages, let's put him in the mid lane and go with that route of thought. I don't think it's worth necessarily going for all these weird bot lanes. And I'm fine with gimmicks against a team that you think is mechanically and especially like macro-wise better than you.
They gotta work.
Some cheese strats. But yeah,
cheese is always good.
It's gotta work though. It's gotta be something that's viable to actually have impact, and that just wasn't really happening this game.
Yeah, I think the other thing is too is that if you're gonna go with the Karthus, if you're gonna go for that big macro pressure from the ultimate and trying to have that heavy AP powerhouse later on in the game, you gotta draft either. Yeah, I feel like it would have worked a little bit better if they had a different support that wasn't Thresh. Maybe if they had a better roam support, maybe like a Pyke or maybe a Bard, a Pyke, or some kind of heavy hitter, not Leona, obviously, because they had Leona on Coach Gap, but something that could benefit the other lanes more with roams, or not a heavy engage, especially when you have that Karthus who isn't going to be able to output that kind of damage. You can't handicap yourself by giving you an aggressive hook support to a APC that doesn't have any damage until 10 minutes, 12 minutes into the game after they get their first item. So if they're going to do something like that again, I would hope that they then shift the support role to roaming a lot more up into the mid lane or around the map to try and balance it out a little bit more.
Yep, and we're going to be getting into game here 1 minute. As soon as I get the spectator link for a pro draft.
Yes, as soon as we are allowed to watch the game, we shall continue. There.
Yep, and spec link is begotten, so we'll be in draft here in just a minute.
Now, Trash, let me ask you a quick question. What do you expect to see here in terms of composition? Because I think you have a point in that the cheese. We all love cheese here. Cheese is one of the best additions to any strat, composition, or food group. But what do you think we're going to see more of a change on the side of Coach Gap or more of Woeuq's?
I think we're going to see. Honestly, I think Coach Gap do go for a very different composition. I don't think the Nico mid is probably going to come out again. I think that might have been very specific to what they were trying to do that particular game. But so they're going to take away the Yasuo. Not going to let Woeuq have that one. I'd be curious if they keep the Yone ban from game 1 as well.
Yeah, we have the Rumble ban as well, targeting their... I believe that's a target at Veil, if my memory serves correctly.
That is a hard target at Veil. If you give Veil Rumble, you are trolling. He will be able to carry a game on Rumble 100% of the time.
Now we see the Fiora ban here again, which leads me to believe, we have the Olaf ban on the side of the coach cap, giving that respect to Pit Fighter there and his ability to provide those pressures. We have the double top ban. That's what I was just about to comment on. If they're gonna
and they first picked the deer.
Someone call PETA. This man's skinning all the animals and he's just huffing this green substance out of a can. What are we gonna do?
Why'd you describe Udyr as that?
I mean, that's all he is. That's all he is in this patch. You build chem tank, you run at people, and you yell in bear form. What else are you gonna do? I mean, have you ever seen somebody use turtle for more than half a second?
We got the Ivan pick actually coming out in response, so not sure if I like this one really in this situation. Udyr gonna be able to definitely abuse the not so friendly little tree in the jungle. So Ivern's clear very quick if you know what you're doing on him.
Yeah, I mean, the
Ivern's the best either right now after his personal nerfs to Cherseed. Lucian as well picked up here for Woeuq. So flexing that mid, bot, and top lane pick.
I like the Lucian. Very good aggressiveness. Oh, we have the Senna coming out on the side of Coach Cap. I like the Senna. Senna's very strong right now, but I like the Lucian as well, because the Lucian, if they decide to go for another Thresh-like support again with having the hooks and having the early engage, it's a lot better if that ends up going bot lane. A lot better than Karthus. A lot more damage, a lot more DPS than Karthus. I like it if they ended up pairing it with it. And we have a Karma potentially flexed on the side of Coach Cap. Could potentially see that going mid, or we could see that going support as well.
Top lane is an awesome option for Karma, though I would not like to see Coach Cap.
We have a Blitzcrank!
Yep, Blitzcrank locked in for Woeuq. Gonna try to get some sneaky pulls out of the Fog of War.
Much better bot lane here if the Lucian does end up going bot lane.
I think much more aggressive bot lane.
Definitely
Abba and Eternal.
Yeah, playing to their strengths because we saw Abba trying to hold his own a little bit there too, but not really, because being limited by the Karthus. Let him play around a little bit more, let him be a little bit that more aggressive, especially with the Blitzcrank at his side. Very great early lane pressure here on the side of Woeuq. Great change of pace.
Yep, and Coach Cap going to continue to ban out the Malphite and start targeting that top lane champion pool of Ilventadoro.
The Akali ban coming out here, also geared again at 4022. We now have three top.
Well, let's see what that one is in chat. Renekton is the final ban for Woeuq. So not gonna let 4022 on that one, and we'll see if Coach Cap continues to pinch this top lane champion pool, and they will with the Shen. Now on to Woeuq. They're gonna have to blind something here. Would try to see. It looks like that'd be a set top lane as it's locked in, but can also be flexed to the mid lane, as Veil would love to show.
Yes.
Through many of his games on the champion. Now Coach Cap has to decide where they're gonna put the rest of their members. They still have top lane and mid lane to lock in. Gonna have to blind at least one of those, assuming the set is the other, and it's gonna be the Riven in top lane. And the Victor
in the mid lane.
Veil. So a lot more zone control with the Victor than with necessarily the Nico, despite now you don't have the pop boss, you have the Graviton as well as the Death Ray. So a little bit more damage oriented than a Nico, is Nico more utility based. And Riven, I mean, probably would have liked to see something more along the lines of Camille in this day and age. Generally speaking, a lot stronger top lane, but is not too bad nonetheless. And a Nivea, the final lock-in for Woeuq.
And that is the confirmation for me that the Lucian Blitzcrank will in fact be in the bot lane, Ivern in the jungle, set top, and Nivea mid. Now I like Woeuq. Woeuq definitely has a little bit better of a comp here in terms of control as well as team fighting, because they have better aggressive lane pressure in the bot lane. But for team fights, they have Daisy, they have the roots from the Ivern and hooks from Blitzcrank, and they have Anivia walls and stuns. So I think they have a lot more control than they did in the first time, and a little bit more weapons to use during the mid-game team fights. In terms of bot lane, much better. We have a Lucian and a Blitzcrank. Being able to actually capitalize on using a hook champion could potentially see that Lucian thriving in this bot lane. However, the Senna on the side of Coach Gap, if we see the Kraken Slayer build, lots of damage. Very annoying, lots of damage, and for some reason, Glacial is still a rune, so we do see the slow. So I think it'll be a much better bot lane matchup here in the game 2. The Riven top lane, I actually kind of respect a little bit more than maybe I should. Only because if 4022 wants to flex his muscles a little bit, if he wants to put the pressure on this set early on, right? If he's actually able to do that, if he's actually able to dominate the top lane, it frees Udyr to just gallivant all along the bottom of the map. And again, kind of like the first game 1, just allowing Catalyst to help the rest of the lanes and let 4022 become independent. So if he's able to do that, it's good on the side of Coach Gap, but if he actually falls behind, if he falls prey to some roams from Ivern trying to get up those 2v1s, that might be a problem when it comes to the mid game.
Yep, for sure. And I'm gonna give honestly the draft one again over to Coach Cap. I think they've drafted a fairly decent composition for themselves. I think the Riven is the one for me. If I had to pick one super weird thing to do, Riven's definitely it. Just because I think there's better options, but serving the same purpose as this bruiser melee top laner. In this set, you're gonna maybe have a little bit of hard time in the early portions of lane set. Of course, loving the melee matchup into any champion, really. And then in the bot lane, I mean, there is a chance that Eternal Flame and Abba can actually do some work. As Karma Senna, yeah, it's a ton of poke and can be very obnoxious in lane phase, but if you land one good rocket grab, blow up one of these two very squishy champions without really any heals or shields coming out in excess, as long as you don't take the extended trade, probably looking pretty good for the Blitzcrank Lucian in this matchup. And then mid lane, very boring, farm fest. They're both, Victor wants to farm and Nivea wants to farm. They'll handshake it, and Victor, I'm gonna guess once I turn the nameplates back on, probably gonna come out on top of that one. Though if Woeuq had anything to prove in game 1, is that he will contest Veil for those style points in the Finesse Factory, so not necessarily set in stone, but certainly the narrative of this laning phase. Yeah, just both teams, I think these are both solid drafts. I think Ivern definitely can be something that Coach Cap can exploit early on. Udyr is kind of nuts. Yeah. And with a Riven at his back, it's just probably gonna try to invade that top side jungle.
Yeah, Coach Cap definitely has the advantage in terms of the river kerfuffle scuffles over the early scuttle crabs. Anivia not really going to be able to provide much support there in the early levels with the Ivern against an Udyr and a Victor. Lots of damage, and you know, as soon as Udyr hits level 3, just double teaming back and forth with tiger stance, bear stance, tiger stance, bear stance. You're really not going to be able to move, and it's just so much damage. I think Coach Cap is going to be able to prioritize and take advantage of the fact that if they get some good invades on with the support of Veil in the mid lane, they can put Pit Fighter in a real tough situation.
Yeah, for sure. I can definitely see that. So Woeuq definitely, like I said, we're pretty much repeating the same stuff. There's not too much else to talk about. Honestly, the spectator lane keeps going down, but Woeuq definitely drafting some tools from the Succeed. I think they drafted a few Achilles heels in there as well. The Ivern just very odd. Yeah, you can buff up the Lucian. Yeah, you can buff up the set later on, but not necessarily the pick I'd like to see when you see that Udyr come in first pick, because that's something that can very much abuse you in the jungle. That's kind of hard to deal with, especially considering the jungle kind of already belonged to Catalyst in game 1, when it wasn't necessarily as one-sided of a matchup.
Now I think Woeuq can actually can change that a little bit, because partial partially the reason why Catalyst had such a domineering grip on the jungle was because he had such lane prio in the bot lane. They really weren't able to contest it too much. I mean, sure, we had Eternal Flame making those roams up to the mid lane, but in terms of lane prio, Coach Cap had it in spades, and they were able to use that and translate that into free dragons. But if Woeuq is able to actually get this bot lane online, get some good kill gold, they can reverse that and actually take that dragon advantage for themselves. They're actually able to make it. They're actually able to take all of these drags, put themselves in a better position early on that they didn't have before because of their a little bit late game staggered bot lane. I think they'll be in a much better position in terms of the jungler. It's just a matter. It just comes down to if Pitfighter gets punished with a lot of invades. I think that's really what it comes down to. So, but yeah, the Elventidoro, hopefully with a little bit of support from Pitfighter, could potentially put this Riven behind, kind of make up for the lacking in the first game, and kind of hopefully even it up a little bit. I did like the support, even though Ivern, not as equipped as Olaf, still can provide some good roots and some good shields and engage for the side of Woeuq's weak side. So here we go into the game. We have phase rush on Udyr. So if we had any doubts that Udyr was going to have low movement speed,
I mean, if
do
you're
not be afraid.
If you're thinking Udyr is going to have low movement speed, first off, so what?
It's 2021.
Yeah, but what rock have you been living under for the past 11 years of League of Legends?
I would say it's
That's
current
one
year.
constant.
He can run fast.
Run very fast. So we'll have to see how Cal says. It looks like Coach Cap's gonna go for the early gameplay. 5-man group strong.
And here it looks
Like
like
they're going for the counter off the Blitzcrank invade that they know they're going to try to pull a little bit of foresight here out of Coach Cap.
yeah. Looks like
As it is going to be the 5-man push here. Catalyst looking to be the sacrificial lamb towards a Blitzcrank hook should one lash out. They know where they are. They know they're in there. Pitfighter.
Where they are. Oh no, Pitfighter, no!
No,
Oh!
and Ivern's gone. First blood over to 40-22. Eternal Flame's gonna be next. They've checked too far. The exhaust is there. Senna looking for Catalyst, gonna grab the kill and a flash forward from Elventidoro. And it is an absolute disaster to start off game 2. Already 2-0, 1,000 gold lead at minute 1 for the Coach Gap.
You can't face check a bush when you know there's a Riven, Udyr, and a Victor just somewhere lurking. You can't do it, and Ivern had to be probably the worst one to walk into all of that. A little bit of a misstep there on the side of Woeuq, but they can come back for it. Early gold though on this Riven, allowing her.
Yeah, longsword already. Endurance
yeah,
blade.
longsword already.
Longsword endurance blade, baby. Set hates his life.
Set is gonna have to buckle down a little bit here and kind of relax because all of the potential trades that he could have had.
The trade's pretty good. It's 40-22 right now. Already all 3 procs the Q off, but continue to trade. Has the extra pot, so is not afraid to take some rough ones in the early game. While bot lane getting pushed in more or less as expected here in the early portion of the game. He's not going to have too much damage on this early game Senna.
Yeah, Abba and Eternal putting on the pressure here like they should. Having the Blitzcrank at their disposal along with the Lucian, making full spades of their...
Elventidoro finds the face breaker there, but the stun from 40-22 going to get a lot of damage. Now Elventidoro going to go down here. Close with the punches, but 40-22 already finds a solo kill. And the top lane starting off very eerily similar to how we saw in game 1, and that is not what you want to see if you are a Woeuq fan.
No, sir, it is not, especially already Riven ooh, we have the hook out of Eternal.
Yep. Good use of the passive by Abba to get a lot of damage down. Gated has to flash away. The Ignite taking down. Finds the heal, but the heal from Abba to grab the movement speed. Able to claim the kill and a 2v2 kill in the bot lane. such is the hook. The rocket grab coming in clutch there for Eternal Flame to find the kill. And Gated now down 2 summoners against the Blitzcrank. Of course, 2 summoners down from ABBA as well. Fedora gonna not do much damage here. As 42 gets the shield, already down half HP. Has the face breaker still, so 42 gonna take a large chunk of true damage. Gonna try to trade in the wave though. Going forward with the E-shield. Flash forward, finds the stun, has the Q coming off cooldown here in just a second. But Catalyst coming in as well. Catalyst able to find the kill, and now Ilvador down TP, down 2 kills. Not having a good time this series. Now Woeuq possibly in some trouble here is Vale looking for the trade, but Eternal Flame has done a level 3 roam. Catalyst here to support from the top side of the map, and that's why the trade was so aggressive. Vale though, pretty much just dying to minions at this point, and Pit Fighter makes his way in. Catalyst gonna be roped back in by the Blitzcrank. The shield from Ivern gonna do a lot to prevent the Blitz from really going anywhere near lethal damage. And although there were a lot of buttons pressed, no one dies.
No one dies. Live to fight another day.
Yep.
Now it's interesting because Aventadoro, even though he's down in the kills, he is surprisingly trading well under his own tower.
That should be set in a gist.
Yeah. Yeah.
Set very potent on the trades.
And he's doing very well in terms of keeping up with the CS, even though being behind those 2 kills. He's making the best of it, and you know, as long he just has to play a little bit more passive. I don't think Ivern's really gonna help with the Riven, if I'm being completely honest.
Probably not. And interestingly enough, looking at the build path here, Gated electing to go with the tier on the center. So this is not going to be the Kraken Slayer build. This is going to be the lethality build, I believe, or some odd variation of either of those, including a Manamune. So not necessarily what we'd be seeing super commonly anymore.
Yeah, until we see that second item here, it could be words. It could be a Dustblade. We could see that lethality. It could be the Eclipse. But he could still very well go with the Kraken Slayer and throw the Manamune on top of it, although it wouldn't be ideal in trading it for Rage Blade. Could be a possibility, but more than likely.
Catalyst gonna look for Abba here. Finds Bear Slap onto the Lucian. Zentai flashing forward as well to make sure this route connects, and well played by Coach Gap in the bot side of the map. Gonna grab a quick kill onto the Lucian. Now 42 dueling with Ilvador again. Not 6 hits, it doesn't have that true damage for the execution. However, Coach Gap's still gonna be able to force out Woeuq from this Dragon Pit. The Ivern does not have any pressure on this map, nor does the Anivia, and it'll be a free first strike at 6 minutes towards the side of Coach Gap.
Yeah, it's not what you want to see. Again, if you are a Woeuq fan, it's not what you want to see.
Although they horrible recall top lane, gonna lose this entirety of this double stacked wave, and probably most of the next one as well. That is not what you want to see in the top side of the map.
I mean, I like Woeuq's being able to make up for the dividends and getting that bot lane prio, but when you have just
Vale
Catalyst...
into trouble here. Woeuq looking for the solo kill. Gravity Well gonna come out, has to flash away from the stun on the Q. So, good play by Woeuq. Managed to grab Vale's flash. Maybe a little bit over eager there from Vale to try to find some damage onto Anivia. Meanwhile, bot lane still farming it up. No one yet ticking over that level 6 mark. Gated continuing to collect souls here.
I mean, it's definitely really rough for Pit Fighter here because he can't really... A lot of his opportunities that he could have had from having this
15 souls on center. 16 now, so still very on the low side of things, but not yet at 10 minutes, so not really that big of a deal at this point in the game.
Yeah, it's not a lot. They're just being punished by Catalyst on the Udyr. His roams are too great. He's already had such a tremendous gold lead here. But I mean, we just got to see Woeuq's kind pick up the pace a little bit, kind of play through bot more. I mean, because that's really realistically, we see Woeuq trading very well. If Pit Fighter just makes himself a little bit more well known across the map, they could start turning a little bit more plays in the mid and the bot lane. But that top lane and that man in currently the tiger costume are going to become a problem very fast here with all of that gold going on to them.
Oh, Rocker finds his way on the gate, and Avo going back in. Still not 6 so has no culling. It's gated. Going forward, Exhaust comes down, flash away from Avo to dodge from the root is gated. Still fighting with the Ignite on him. The Tiger gets knocked up, and Catalyst here as well. So now they really have to run for Dill's flash. Fair slap from Catalyst. Finds way into Avila, and Catalyst goes on a rampage. Slaps the second guy as well. The root comes through. The shield gonna buy a bit of time, but it ain't gonna be enough. It's double kill for the Udyr. Now top lane, 40-22 in some trouble. Actually very low here on the Riven. Still has the ultimate available. So can reforge the Broken Blade whenever he so chooses, but will instead just walk away from the Ivern set duo.
Yeah, I mean, this Udyr is a force to be reckoned with.
Oh, now Woeuq gonna go with the one-shot here on to Pitfighter. All comes through to Zeta, and well done by 40-22. Finds the Ivern grieving for some vision clearing. Finds a nice solo kill again.
Yeah, and here we see the inherent problem with the Ivern pick is that on his own, he's very weak to these high damage people such as Riven and Udyr, and he's not really able to, I mean, besides the light CC, he's not really able to really provide much pressure anywhere he really goes. I mean, if he hits the root, we have a little bit of CC and he's able to do it, but I mean, Set's kind of behind, Set's falling behind. I mean, Anivia's doing her best, and I don't know, it's just, especially with this big gold differential, we already have the chem tank here, along with the shiny pair of Merc Treads.
4,000 in the green here for Coach Gap at only 10 minutes in the game is a pretty strong early lead at this point in the game. And 40-22 just going to try to cheese out the set, but Il Ventadoro going for that Ivern red buff, the one benefit of having this quite flimsy tree this far in the game is getting those very meaningful buffs for dueling. Surprised it started his own blue buff here so that Woeuq can get some as well, but just kind of posturing around mid lane right now.
It's dragging up in 40 seconds. It looks like Woeuq is in position to have that drag prio here. Setting up for the vision, the blue buff coming out here, and it looks like Woeuq's just going to go scoop that up from his friendly neighborhood tree man. And I mean, I think we're going to see a drag fight here. I mean, right now Woeuq they have bot lane prio. They have Ivern on the bot side of the map. Oh, but it looks like Pitfighter's going to have to recall here. Not sure if it's the best idea. But yeah, we have the reset in Udyr.
Udyr now making his way bot side as well to contest this Drake. Eternal Flame going to just continue to fish for rocket grabs. Udyr though gonna look for the gank bot instead first. Abba going away with the E. Flash forward from gated. Finds the root on Abba. Is most certainly dead. Zeta managed to grab the kill. He's hooked under the turret. Manages to get away. Ignite ticking down, but the karma shall not fall with the shields. And 40-22 just gonna casually trade into a red buff set. Pops the ultimate, gonna try to go for some extra damage. Dora pops the ultimate, gets the showstopper. 42 flashing away. True damage not gonna do enough, and that is the advantage of the red buff. 0-2 is just a tab. He's down a full mythic item and still able to equally fight the Riven. Now Pitfighter's going to look to make it an unfair fight indeed. 40-22 going to E away, Q flop his way out of a bad situation, but that is most certainly going to be the Dragon now over to Coach Gap as the Ivern spotted topside.
Yeah, I like the effort there to try and to finally just close that out there for the top lane. Try and get some gold back from the very ahead Riven. Try and get that set a little bit back. Set coming to TP. Able to recover the remnants of that wave. But yeah, you give up the drag. You give up the... Actually, they had prio. You give up the drag, you give up the prio, and you don't really get anything out of it. I mean, Woeuq's really just got to try and get some picks or something going here. I mean, their bot side is still going pretty well. We have Kraken Slayer online for the Lucian, but I don't know, the early game is coming to a close very quickly here at 13 minutes, and eventually Woeuq is going to end up in a team fight here. And they have Herald dropping here in the bot lane. It looks like that tier 1 tower. Yeah, it's going to be gone there for first tower of the game. But yeah, these team fights are going to happen more and more here, and it's not looking good for this side of Woeuq with the little bit of a fed Udyr and a little bit of a fed Riven. It's not looking great.
Good side step by Gated, gonna find his way on a pit fighter. Well, with the knowledge of Blitzcrank in the area, gonna have to back away. 40-22 going for another chase stop point as well. Too much in the siege of the mid lane. Tier 1 begins. For Coach Cap, doing a bit of an ARAM here. 6K in the lead to try to force advantages where they can.
And it does, I believe, I was correct in thinking, because I see a Noon Quiver on gated Senna here. So we will see a hybrid of the Kraken Slayer along with a potential Mana Moon later on.
Ivan Todoro pretty much dead here. Has the W to try to buy some time, and 40-22 is tanking. Goes on a rampage with the ultimate proc. The rest of Woeuq's Weakside actually coming to respond to this. They're going to try to save the turret. I'm not sure they really can. Rock's going to find his way to 40-22, but the shields and heals Karma going to buy a lot of time. He does eventually go down to Abba, but now it's Zentai trying to fight his way off, getting slowed down by the Lucian and Ivern combo. Eternal Flames eventually gets hit by the Senna, and now Gated Cosmic trouble. Abba does not have the calling available, doesn't have the heal, doesn't want to overcommit. Catalyst still hovering around the area, down doing his blue buff right now, so can't come up to try to do this collapse on the Crab if he so chooses.
Now, if there's anybody you wanted the gold to go on to, for the bounty gold to go on to, Lucian is definitely your best bet here. Really good to make up some of that gold. Probably will help him very soon. It's very good to make up some of that lost gold for the side of Woeuq. You know, that was very good. It was a great play to follow up. Even though Iventadoro did his best, he was able to extend the play long enough for the rest of his team to come back. Great hook on Eternal into 40-22 to put him finally down for once in this game. So, you know, it was a great follow-up. I mean, sure, Aventador may have gotten caught under the tower and a lot of damage and a lot of CC on the side of Coach Cap, but they made the best of it. I mean, they just got to be more proactive instead of reactive like that. I mean, that's the best they could do. I mean, they have, now with that more gold coming out on Lucian, hopefully with some better hooks, and they'll be able to get a couple of more picks here, but it looks like Coach Cap is grouping up here to try and get this bot tower here with the closing wave.
Yeah, they're trying to force out a lot of this vision, a lot of these players outside of this bot side jungle, grab these camps, steal as much gold away as they really can away from Ivern and away from his comrades. As they're continuing to now claim back what jungle they can, clear out what vision they can find. And Coach
Cloud Drake up and
take recalls where they need it.
Cloud Drake up in 40 seconds here.
Yep, looking to see Woeuq's Weakside get a little bit of that vision in there. Start trying to push into that river, bring down Lucian, bring down Seth, get a squad over here and push into the river, clear out vision and put down some of their own to really gain control over this area before the fight, because they might be able to take picks like this. Veil not going to get hit by the rocket grab, going the wrong direction as well as a Q from Ivern. Now 40-22 going into the enemy team pretty much by himself, has to flash away from the calling. The Pitfighter nearly going down towards the Victor ulti. Not necessarily the best situation here for Woeuq's Weakside. They have some very low members, but still burning some summoners and some ultimates. 40-22 and Veil both not going to have access to theirs for this dragon fight. But with the recall of Pitfire, it's going to look like Woeuq's going to have to give up this one, and they're going to fall in sole point. 3:20 minutes for the side of Coach Cap. Next dragon will be spawning here at 22:35. That will be the sole point. I'm not sure if anyone's really going to be online. I'm not sure if the Anivia is going to be there yet. Not sure if the set's going to be there yet for the side of Woeuq's, but they're pretty much going to have to fight this next Drake.
Yeah, and it looks like Catalyst here is going to try and take advantage of the immense pressure that they have going here, and it looks like he might try to scoop up the Herald before it despawns.
Ooh, what a hook! With the rocket grab. Abba gonna try to do some damage. Zentai living with the shields for now, but Abba able to grab the kill through the exhaust. Well played by Eternal Flame to find that one, and Abba, again, the benefactor of that good gold.
I mean, that's the best they can really do here. I mean, Woeuq, with these great hooks out of Eternal, they're making the best of what they can. These hooks are providing great opportunities for them to catch up on this gold here. They've a now 7,000 gold lead here in this game. They just gotta try and get these picks and try and do the best they can, because picks they're great on all the gold's going on Abba, lots of damage, and if they can maybe hook, maybe get gated, maybe get Veil, put them behind a little bit, get some more gold on there, they might actually have a carry to carry them through, or an AD carry to get them through the team fights. So they may not be good on the Dragons, they may be lacking in gold, but Eternal getting a little cheeky there with trying to clear that last vision. But, you know, I mean, that's all Woeuq can do. They gotta get picks. They gotta get gold, they gotta get picks, and that's really the best way they can do it.
So far this game, Eternal Flame as well, playing very well in the Blitzcrank, trying to enable Abba to get a lot of these kills onto Zentai, onto Gated, etc. I think the Blitzcrank pick, currently speaking, working out a lot for Woeuq, besides enabling them to try to get something done, where I think with other picks may have been a little bit harder. I don't think they would have done this on the Alistar. I don't think they would have done this on the Leona, just based on the fact that it is a very committal CC where you have to go into an enemy team. So far, Blitzcrank pick working out, looking very, very good for Weakside this game. If he can continue to keep finding hooks, but what we might see once we start getting later in the game into that team fight stage is Blitzcrank kind of falling by the wayside if he can't hit these hooks, as then he doesn't offer as much utility as something like Leona, as something like the Nautilus, and these other heavy engaged supports as Gated. Walking up to Abba, finds the root of the Eternal Flame, gonna find the ulti, knocks up to Senna. All he's not gonna do is Callus flashing in with a bear slap. Doesn't find anything yet as Woeuq on the side, flank, trying to get some damage down with the ultimate, but gets chunked down instead. Now Veil looking for the kill. Deathray not gonna find the Anivia just yet. And it'll be the continued siege by Gated here. Veil able to find the kill, but he's rocket grabbed back under, and Abba wants to get another kill. 40-22 looking for the kills himself, but stunned up by Aventador. Ulted back into the next tower. Haymaker to buy some time. Catalyst stuns up Abba, so he cannot DPS the ribbon as the Anivia resurrects to defend the tier 1 turret. Another hook going out, does not grab Gated. So far, it is a 1-for-1. Gated gonna take a tower shot, but is immediately destroyed by the Herald as he continues to go forward. Might have been stunned up here too far in. Abba on a rampage. As now another hook going just wide as a tie. Could have been disastrous for Coach Gap. Now they're gonna get a second charge off, so it's worthwhile if you subscribe to that ideology for the blue team here, but definitely costly in kills as Abba picking up another 2. 100% kill participation with a 5-3 scoreline.
Yeah, also
Currently
picking up his
his
Essence Reaver also online here. They're doing. It was definitely, they may have gotten the tower, but Woeuq's putting up a good fight. They're not going down easy. And Abba's doing a great job of making sure Coach Gap knows that, hey, I am the damage here. I can do my job. Don't mess with my team. And Eternal Flames with all of these great hooks. Woeuq's with a fantastic wall there on the first tier turret to kind herd Karma there onto the other side. It was a good job. Phenomenal gameplay here. We have the Rage Blade up on the Senna as well. It looks a lot of damage starting to hit her power spike.
Catalyst looking for a pick here into Abba as we prepare for this Soul Drake fight. Cloud Soul going to be contested here by both teams. Looks like Coach Gap is trying to burn it down before Woeuq can really form any type of defense. Daisy frontlining currently for the team. Big calling onto the tie. He goes down. 40 trying to do it again in the back line. And it's Dragon secured by 40-22. Also grabbing the kill on Aventador as well, but it's only 3 members left in the pit. Catalyst trying to find his way into Woeuq. The wall going to come up in front of the Udyr, trying to buy some more time. Stun also landing on Catalyst. Woeuq not long since Woeuq is 40 jumps on him. Veil finds a kill with that empowered auto, and it was a valiant attempt, but Woeuq to stall the game out further. But the Soul will go over to Coach Cap, and they're going to start pushing down these inner turrets. As now, Abba into trouble. Bear Slap connects. Catalyst cannot be stopped. And Gated the benefactor of that kill.
Especially now with his newfound Phoenix stance speed. There's not much you can do to outrun this Udyr here this late in this game. Although that would make it a 1 for 3 for the
9K
beneficial.
is the gold lead, and Pit Fighter going to be taught what that feels like very quickly in a few auto attacks. 4022 also looking to continue to get this tower in front of Ilventadoro's own face. His fist not really doing too much. And now, Coach Cap free, start clearing out vision in this topside jungle, start planning vision of their own, and get priority around the Baron. Because once that goes down, the game is pretty much wrapped and over, as we saw just 1 game ago.
Yeah, the 9K lead is not, or the now almost 10K lead here for Coach Cap. It's not looking good for Woeuq. There's not a lot they can do. Oh, Catalyst!
Yeah, Woeuq ain't looking good himself. Catalyst.
Oh my God!
Popped the speed boost on Chemtank, and the Nivea. Not
I would just like to point out that by himself without Chemtank, Phoenix into Bear Stance gets Catalyst just over 600 movement speed, and then Chemtank on top of that, I believe puts him in the 700 to 800 range.
Yep.
So that's scary. That's
now,
ridiculous.
Coach Cap trying to his Baron is a bit slow here with Senna, but Victor definitely compensating for that one. Daisy's in the pit. Iron gonna look to possibly steal this one away. It's down to 2K gold. Abba's gonna have to do something here. The calling goes in, but it will be secured. Catalyst with the surefire smite. Now they're gonna look for the re-engage. 40-22 on the back line, finds a way on to Ilventadoro. Who's gonna go down to the Haymaker to buy some time. It's not gonna be enough as 40-22 goes down. Catalyst flashing over, finds a way on the Pit Fighter. And he falls as well. The Blitzcrank also not long for the blow. Stun comes down to Catalyst. The hook shot on to 40-22, but that's not gonna be so easy to kill, as he's able to dash away with the shield out of harm's way. Ends up being a 2-0 in favor of Coach Cap. Gated just sieging this mid lane turret. We'll still have the Baron to deal with.
There's a fantastic flank there by 40-22, cutting off Ilventadoro at the pass there, allowing them to secure the kill very successfully. Ilventadoro trying in vain to try and get some sort of recompense for those sword trades, but there's not a lot you can do. Just all the gold with the Baron, the siege here.
Yeah, what damage out of Victor is nuts. Abba also falling to Veil. That's a little bit of extended DPS there in 2 auto attacks. Gated making the Rage Blade Kraken Slayer field known. Still just sitting on a tier for some reason.
You know, he needs the mana. Mana obviously hasn't been a problem since he's had it, and you know, he could just buy Mana Mune if he wants. I mean, he can. Although he has the call fields there, so he might be going for a little bit of a different direction.
Yep. 2 inhibs down now for the side of Woeuq's weak side. Now 2 weak sides in mid and bot lane for them to deal with. Superman's gonna be pushed in there, and probably one more reset here out of Coach Cap before they go for the death push.
16K gold lead. It is very grim.
Yep, a little bit slower of a game. Was not the explosive game we saw last time where the gold lead just shot up instantaneously, but certainly one that has been in utter dominance in favor of Coach Cap this time around. Only real bright side here is the bot lane, actually, for Woeuq's weak side. Eternal Flame and Abba trying their best to kind of keep this team together with the hooks and the cooks on the side of Lucian. Burning down people as fast as they can possibly do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, I mean, we see here they're clearing out the jungle. They're doing their turn and burns, just as they did, because they cannot be contested here. Just, oh, wow.
Just short.
Just-
Just short.
But, yeah,
There's a
looks
question
like,
mark on the availability of Onivia's ulti, I just realized in the prompt. That's pretty interesting. Anyway.
There you go.
You know, just fun things as this game comes to a slow and painful close. Abba puts him calling out in the veil, but he's not taking any damage. Chaos Storm finds him. Shutdown, actually, for Abba. Eventually calls the veil as well. The rest of the team just falls victim to the Udyr Riven combo. And that will be the game. 28-50-ish. The screen will freeze. We know how it ends. GG to Coach Gap taking their 2-0 to start the week.
Udyr taking his victory laps, flying the airplane, and Phoenix dance around their enemies' Nexus. A valiant effort once again by Woeuq's Weakside, but the just awesome power of Udyr and the Riven here, just a little bit too much for them to handle. Coach Gap made their gold lead very apparent, ending with an 18k gold lead, because I still forget the client doesn't let me leave if I'm in spectator.
Yes, indeed. Well played by Coach Gap. Very dominant performance tonight. Really not too much else to talk about on that front. We can ask if they want any interviews. Hop in one of the team chats so we can move you down. Just beware of the in-house chats that are going on right now. So any interested players who want to do an interview, just hop in.
Yes, we extend
I
an
can move
invitation
you in
to
there.
both teams. Both teams, if anything. It looks like we have both Catalyst and Vale from the side of Coach Gap here, waiting patiently in Team 1.
Do we?
We do.
Oh, they're way up there in Team 1. Okay.
They're all the way up there.
Alright, I'll move them in here in just a minute. And then we will be ready to go.
Greetings.
Hello.
That's right. One at a time. There we go.
All right, hello.
Alright, hello.
Hello.
Coach Gap Vale and Coach Gap Catalyst. Welcome.
How's it going?
Welcome
cast.
to the booth.
Yep,
GG to both of you.
Thank you.
One at a time. One at a time.
Yeah, trying it. We're figuring it out here. You take it, Bob. Go ahead.
No, you actually probably have a constructive question. I just started out with good game.
Nope, just saying, both of you guys not strangers here to the caster side of things. You just get to see it from the other side of the glass this time. But dominant performance here tonight. Pretty solid victories. First game, few screw-ups there. Got outplayed a handful of times in a few lanes.
My poor KDA, I died.
One death too many.
Yeah, just not starting off the season hot on the KDA scale. That's gonna be a rough.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes people look at the stat sheet very seriously, and they take that very seriously. And one death, that can really tank a KDA there, Vale. I mean,
I know, it's really unfortunate.
Yeah.
Hate to see it.
Right at the end too. You had it in your grasp, the perfect KDA, and then all of a sudden you just decided to get obliterated.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I was kind of griefing the first game because I didn't actually intend on picking Nico. If you realized that, I
was
think of
very
a champion.
disappointed.
I couldn't think of a champion.
It's definitely a rougher matchup into Yasuo, but I mean, it kind of worked with your team, so it's like, eh.
In hindsight, I should have just picked Galio.
Galio would have been very solid.
I mean, I'm very upset you didn't commit to the Quinn, though. I mean, I would have been...
like, we were thinking about it because the Aurelia mid, but Aurelia just loses so hard to Yasuo.
Now, Mr. Catalyst, could you give me an official number as to how much move speed you had at the end of game 2 when you activated Chem Tank? Because I believe it was like 800-ish.
Yeah, with the Cloud Soul, the Bear Stance, the Chem Tank, all of that. I didn't really exactly look at the number, but I'd imagine it was somewhere around the 800, 850 range.
Do you take joy in instilling fear when you switch stances and just immediately zoom across the map in 3 seconds?
Oh,
that
absolutely.
joy?
you just gotta kind of, you lock in the pick, and then you just have to start saying to yourself, they must have forgot, and you kind of just run at them, right? That's what Udyr does. You run, bear slap, wide people run, wide people stun. So I mean, I was happy to provide utility for my team there.
Happy to hard farm most of the game and come in occasionally for some helpful cleanup.
Exactly. Yeah, damage numbers were a little lacking, but a little less than I would have liked. But it worked out. We won. So
Very nicely done. I'm pulling up your schedule here so far because this has been a common theme here for week 1. A lot of teams just absolutely smashing their opponents. So not a lot. I mean, there's certain games that you just can't really take too much out of, other than like actually know what you're gonna pick mid lane before 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So looking here at the rest of your schedule this week, you do have a bye week, so only one more game for you guys against Monkey Meta at an
That's
undisclosed gate.
gonna be Tuesday the 9th at 8 p.m.
And from the looks of the roster, very similar to the team you faced today. Anything you're super concerned about in comparison?
I know there are mid laners in Malzahar one trick, so we're gonna ban that.
Banning the Malzahar, enabling you to play the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very well done. Well, I got nothing else because really, there's not much to be said other than well
Yeah, I
done.
mean, it was just a stellar performance. I mean, kudos all around. Fantastic game.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah, I got nothing else. It was very good.
Thank you guys for coming on, doing this lackluster interview.
You know-
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
always
you.
a pleasure. Oh, see you
All right.
guys.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
All right, so long.
All right. And that
What
will-
nice people.
Yes, what nice people.
What nice people.
Well, that's going to do it for us here for Woeuq Weakside versus Coach Gap.
Coach Gap.
There is another game at 10. I'm going to try to find a caster for that one because I think I am just about cooked for the season. I can feel my voice going, which is not a good sign because I got stuff to do tomorrow as well.
You need your beauty sleep, I understand. I think we all understand that if you took a break to save your beautiful
So
voice.
we're going to
and
see if
your-
we can get some casters for 10 o'clock tonight in 20 minutes here. If that doesn't happen, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Some games going on tomorrow night. If you're not interested, we'll come back here, watch some League of Legends. It'll be cool. But besides that, thank you guys so much for tuning in with us tonight. I've been Infamous Trash.
I have been Pop Giraffe.
And we'll see you guys next time back on the Rift.
See ya later.